Hi, everybody. I'm Kevin Falvey, editor-in-chief of Boating, and this is Boating Roundtable. Today, we're pleased to be joined by two high-level personnel from Pursuit Boats, Christopher Gratz, who's Vice President of Engineering, and Mark Takelet, who's Director of Brand Strategy. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today, we were going to talk about a range of topics, including innovation, big boat mentality that Pursuit uses throughout its line. Where would you guys like to start?
Well, it's definitely been an exciting time here. We were kind of well poised. Obviously, the industry as a whole has been taken off with everybody kind of gravitating towards boating over the last number of months and year or so. But we finished a very large expansion here at Pursuit, and we've had a significant investment in the facility and our personnel to support that. It's translated throughout into product, our ability to bring more product to the consumers to satisfy retail demand, and also the ability to fill white space that we didn't participate in before.
Yeah, this was something that we had actually embarked on before the industry kind of went crazy with people buying so many boats. So we were already in a growth phase before that.
Can you give us an indication of the size of your facility, or some kind of quantification?
Yeah, so we actually purchased about 80 acres that was adjacent to our current property. And the expansion we just opened, our first phase, was actually 186,000 square feet. Our previous facility is about 211, so we nearly doubled the size of our footprint. It's pretty impressive. And the other thing we did with it, a forward-thinking mentality, the overall size and capability of boats we can produce there increased significantly as well in terms of the overall, all the cranes and the equipment, the infrastructure that's needed to produce, larger boats.
Well, that's a really good segue. So, I mean, with that in mind, in this new facility, what new product development ideas or concepts or boats are you planning to move forward with? Can you talk about that a little bit? New product development?
Yeah, so I mean, one that we recently introduced and started building in the new facility was our S428. And that's the largest Pursuit to date. And without that facility, we really couldn't have produced a boat to that size. And then, we're currently, we've introduced some introductory stuff, but we're currently working on another flagship on our offshore line right now that will also leverage our new manufacturing capabilities and the size that we can produce in that new facility.
And guys, just for the audience's benefit, Pursuit has several lines. You mentioned the offshore line. Just for the reference, can you give us the different lines that Pursuit offers?
Yeah, so we have what we call our sport line, which is essentially a center console and also a center console. So we still have one in our lineup that's called a 238 center console, but then the other ones above that are considered a sport model. And then we also have dual consoles. And we have the offshore models, which is a full-blown cabin boat.
Oh, that's great. So something for everybody. A wide diversity of boaters. And speaking of diversity, and that kind of lends us into your diverse product line, what's you've just outlined. So would you say any particular segment of all of those boats is most popular for you?
It's really strong across the board. The sports, dual consoles, and the offshores. We've done a lot of development work in the sports. We've generated a lot of excitement there with our 378, 428. But we've also worked the smaller side of our dual console line. We just came out with a 246. Really, in terms of the market, it's been a very strong market demand across the entire breadth of our portfolio.
Yeah, and you'll notice that if you look at our portfolio as well from a few years back, we really bolstered that sport category quite a bit. So now we have more models to offer. So the unit counts and everything are up on that. And our dual console line just has been going really strong. And the goal here is to try to introduce at least 3 to 4 new models a year. So
that's ambitious.
Yeah,
it is. We've got an incredibly strong engineering team here, and one thing that's unique and we're proud of is we have the full breadth of capabilities to do all of our design, engineering, manufacture all of our tooling in-house. We're pretty vertically integrated from a development standpoint.
So let me ask, how many new models do you typically do annually, and how long do they last?
Well, it really varies. Typically on the development side, we'll bring 3 to 4 new models a year. And, for us, a new model is really a keel up project. and we invest what we feel is necessary to make the ultimate end product for the customer. And whether they're replacing an existing model in our line and a boat that we already have, or whether it's a white space product, it's a balance. We have a process where we look at our portfolio. We're always monitoring the average age of our portfolio and what areas need attention. Right now, we're pretty excited because our portfolio, it's very fresh. It's just a touch over 2 years old in terms of the average product life. And so that'll help drive the decision. Or, again, we touched on our expansion and our ability to produce incremental models and, opportunities in that consumer space. So, we'll go after incremental models as well. So those 3 to 4 models a year, typically it's a mix of both, updating models within the line and reaching out into new segments.
I'd be remiss in a discussion like this if we didn't talk about the fact that Pursuit is one of only 2 boat builders who have won Boating's Boat of the Year award more than once. Speaks very well of your engineering excellence and innovation historically, not just today. So with that, I'm going to segue into what innovations are you particularly proud of, or do you want to share as examples with our audience?
Well, I think one of the most recent innovations where, the heart of innovation, you're trying to solve a problem for the customer. And maybe the customer doesn't even know they have that problem. Those are kind of the really fun ones, solve an issue that they don't even know that they've got. But one recent one that we did in the larger, sports center console category, the second row seating has become a pretty standard norm, which is great when you're running the boat. But
for those who don't know, that's the row of seating behind the helm seats, behind the captain and mate would traditionally sit. Because some of our viewers may not, we have a lot of new boaters this year, just making sure that's the second row behind the traditional captain and mate's seating position.
So that second row seating space is really underutilized when you're not running the boat. And so to regain cockpit space and add functionality, what we came up with is a system where we electrically move that second row to be able to collapse it against the first row. You can regain your cockpit space. So now we can offer best-in-class cockpit space for fishing or diving or whatever function you've got entertaining going on back in the cockpit. Yet when you're running the boat, you can bring that second row out. You've got plenty of room for that second row of passengers, and you can have that nice ergonomic position that the industry is coming to expect. So we can really offer a lot more versatility to the customer that way.
That's awesome. How about anything else? So anything with hull design maybe you'd like to share, or construction? I know our readers and viewers are always interested in those topics. If there's anything you'd like to share.
That's a great one as well. We actually, we hold a patent for how we our transoms are built and how we reinforce our transoms. With the advent of larger, higher horsepower outboards, that's certainly been a trend over the last number of years. We have a very unique system in which we are able to take that horsepower and translate it into the boat structural system, and we hold a patent on that. So we're unique in the industry in how we do that.
And one other thing that's really important to us is to get the input from our dealers and our customers to understand how they're using the boats and what the needs are for the next upcoming product. So at the beginning of the stage of each one of our new models, we'll put this information together and try to determine, hey, what does this boat really need to accomplish?
Is there any one cool feature of a Pursuit boat that came from a customer and a light bulb really went off and you guys said, wow, we got to do that? I mean, can you identify one particular feature?
I think, one thing that kind of stands out in my mind is our aft fold-out seat. We got a lot of feedback from that over the years, from years past, and recently we've integrated a new seat design into several of our new models. It is absolutely fabulous. I mean, it's so comfortable. It's like sitting on a sofa. We took a lot of the input from our dealers and our customers through a lot of different interviews and focus groups and stuff like that. And that was one of the innovations that came out of that. And Chris and the team worked extremely hard to make that actually come to life.
That is a great example, because it was also one that was, it was a generational one that we've continued to refine. We actually have multiple patents on the execution of that over the years, and that's one that we've rolled that feedback into what we're really proud of to offer on the product.
It's often been said that pursuits of all size. Well, you guys said it in our beginning in our preliminary meeting that you like to, use or imbue. How's that for a word? You like to imbue a big boat mentality throughout your entire product line. Can you explain what that means, big boat mentality?
From the biggest boat, the 42, all the way down to our 23-footer, they're all built the same way with that structural grid. And that's a very important component. It's not the easiest thing to build and manufacture and design, but it sure does make a big difference in the rigidity and structural integrity of the boat. And then we go beyond that with other components that are below the decks that you don't necessarily see too easily. And that is, fuel lines, water lines. The type of equipment that we're using are typically found in bigger yacht style products. So we have that yacht mentality when it comes to that.
Yeah, there's really no line of demarcation in our portfolio. If you enter our portfolio on the small side at that 23 or 24 foot range, you're going to have the same quality of systems, the same quality of hardware, same quality of seating and upholstery. That doesn't scale throughout our product line. We really put, we invest in the right caliber components, that yacht caliber component anywhere within our portfolio.
That's great to know. I mean, that's really, it's confident to, inspires confidence to know that below decks, your plumbing and your electrical and your mechanical installations are robust and not built to a price necessarily.
On the engineering side, we're constantly talking about dependability and reliability, and those are key focuses. And, a lot of that stuff happens below decks where the consumer, doesn't necessarily see it. It's not the things you touch and feel or you think about every day, but they really translate to a good experience in the water when you put that emphasis there in the design. That's
right. It's often made the case that kind of reliability goes to safety, and certainly since we don't have gills and stuff, it can be safety. But really, the experience that you said, the convenience of it, the pain in the neck factor is minimized when my systems are long lasting and reliable versus those that might be less so. My ownership experience is better. I'm happy. I'm a happier boater.
Yeah, precisely.
And then the goal for us that we always think about is when you leave the dock, we want you to come back.
Right.
It's important.
Do you want to expand on that customer experience, that Pursuit aspires to?
Yeah, I think, that's where it kind of starts off with is, making sure that, when you do get out on the water, that you are going to have a good experience. Things aren't going to be breaking and you're going to be able to get back to the dock safely and easily. And, but, we go beyond that as well. We have on the other side of the business, I suppose you might say, is we have things like Marina Life. We just started with a program with them, and we have a concierge club that we offer for our customers now that when they purchase a Pursuit boat, they are automatically enrolled in this club. And part of that is a membership to CETO, and you also get a lot of other benefits that help the customers enjoy their experience on the water even more. So, we want to try to get the customers to use their boats more often and feel confident and safe with it. And we go beyond that with VIP events where we bring the customers into the plant and they can see how we build the boats, take them for boat rides so they can experience what it's like and look at the product line and determine what kind of fits their needs the best. And then we go beyond that by doing rendezvous. So in fact, we're getting ready to do one here next month.
Oh, where are you going?
Yeah, we're going to do the Keys this time. So we've been going over to the Bahamas, but our goal is to kind of take people where they wouldn't typically go on their own, to try to get that confidence to go out there and experience their boats like maybe they wouldn't have done before. And even going to the Keys, we'll take them on routes that maybe they wouldn't have taken otherwise, just to again give them that confidence. And we don't just take them for a tour. We also bring factory representatives to those rendezvous where if customers have any issues with their boats, we'll be there to help them. And we have training sessions. We bring in some of our biggest vendor partners to actually train the customers on how you use the equipment. It's so critical, and we see that as such a need in the industry right now.
Christopher Gratz, Mark Takelet, I want to thank you very much for sharing your expertise and opinions today for our audience.
We'd like to thank you, Kevin, for taking the time to talk to us. We certainly appreciate your interest in the brand and getting the chance to chat with you today. And our facility's back open. We talked about doing facility tours. We love having our customers here. It's a great experience for them. We just started resuming those, so that's really exciting. So certainly that open invitation out there for those that are interested. And then, again, lots going on in new product development. So be sure to keep posted on social media, Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And you'll see the new products coming down the pipeline here shortly.
Thank you again, Chris. Mark, thank you. And for Boating Roundtable, I'm Kevin Falvey.